Hi, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. And welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I'm your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. And we're pivoting a little bit. So, for the last week, we've been talking about Shanquella Robinson. And until any more updates come up about her, we're just gonna park her to the side, okay? And that doesn't mean we're not gonna discuss her anymore. It just means there's not a lot going on with her case that has been like eye-opening or what's the word I'm looking for? Anything new. So there's nothing new. So I don't want to overanalyze her case because it can that can just be draining. Her case is incredibly draining. And there's just a lot of people in the comments tussling. We've missed so many comments on Shanquella Robinson story, and I wanted to go over the LaTruth, give you a quick update on them, and then I want to before our live ends at the latter half of it, I wanted to get to some of the comments on those because I feel like there was so many questions you guys had, and I want to do my best to answer as many as I can, at least the ones that I can. So, the first half, we're going to talk about these people, sorry, these people, and then the second half, I want to get to some of the questions that we missed on Shanquella Robinson. So, I know a lot of you are prepping for the holidays, so I hope y'all prepping early because you know how Black people are for the holidays. We prep the night before. I don't know why. We just do. Never really seen anyone else do it culturally, so we're always prepping the night before. But first, let me see who's in the building, and then we're gonna get into this. We're not gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it, but we're not gonna listen to it because it's incredibly TW, trigger warning. So I don't want to have to do that. I just wanted, and they have closed captioning, thank God. So, and it's such a short clip, you already know what it is. Let me see who's all in the building. And then the latter half of this, we're going to be discussing, we're going to get to some of those questions that you guys had about Shanquella Robinson that we missed yesterday and over the week. And I'm going to just read the questions from my phone. And then I will answer them as best as I can because I know a lot of people had a lot of misconceptions. Um, and there was a lot of funny comments too I want to get to. So let's see who's all in the building. What's up, Nikki? Hello, Casey. Hello, Chevette. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Linda. Hello, Ruth. There's not a lot of you in the building, so I might be able to say hello to everyone. Hello, Tamika. Hello, Ro. Hello, Cree. Um, hello, Raina. Hello, is it Nitra? Hello, Nitra. Hello, Mysterious by Nature. Hello, Mimi. Hello, our Virgil. Hello, Jen. Jen says, oh, this is not for me. Loved your after show on Roku. Oh, this is for me. Loved your after show on Roku last night. Wish you could let loose like that on YouTube. She said, I don't know about the show tonight, but I'll catch up because I love your report. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jenny. I appreciate that. Hello, Cami on the go. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Desiree. Hello, YNV. Hello, AC. Hello, Mrs. Blue. Hello, Shell. How you doing today? Hello, Tawana. Hello, Mary Francis. Hello, Tatey. Hello, Night Tynesha. Hello, Tynesha. I always tell you I went to high school with a girl named Tynesha because such a unique name. Hello. Hello, Keisha. Hello, Life of Virgo. Hello, Statement 92. Hello, Hudson. How are you today, Saint? Hello, Jacqueline. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Just Bougie. Hello, Chandler, like friends. Chandler, like friends. Says, hey, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, the liars need to stop. It's the jokes for me. But just to preface this, you guys, it's really just Brianna, in my personal opinion. I haven't seen a whole lot from Mr. LaTruth that makes me think like, oh, he's just the worst. Sorry, I just haven't. Especially when we get into the details of that phone call that he had recorded with Brianna. I was so heartbroken by it because, like, um, it was heartbreaking because, like, you could tell that he really like is trying. It's hard. It's hard to listen to that phone call. We're not gonna listen to it. They do have it in closed captioning, so we're gonna read it, we're gonna analyze it. I don't wanna play it because it's so emotionally charged. I just don't wanna have to fight, and I'll have to fight with YouTube to get it pushed through so other people can view it after you guys. So that's why I'm not gonna play it. It's just really hard to listen to. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Parrish. Hello, Shan. Hello, Bodala. Who else we got up in here? Hello, Keisha. Hello, Queening Wilson. Hello, Ebony. Hello, Sax Pootie. I hope I'm saying that right. And hello, Renee. So in this video here, Mr. LaTruth, Mr. LaTruth, plays this snippet. This is from their October 14th incident, and he plays it, or he had a snippet of it. I guess he never had published it before, but he publishes it now. So I'm just going to show it to you because, again, it's in closed captioning. You can read the closed captioning. Let me just blow this up. I'll just kind of narrate it for you. Brianna's on the phone with it looks like an operator. She's explaining that Mr. LaTruth has a pew pew, which he does not. Then she stated in this call to the operator that he was following her, and again, he was not. Seems like really hyperbolic something. It's not good. The video's not very long, and he has it captioned. He was stating there, hurry up to the operator. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And then the video kind of just ends there. It's not a very long video. He says she's so dramatic, and y'all are bashing me over lies. Yeah. It's an incredibly hard video to watch because it's a hard video to watch even without the volume. It's hard to watch. I don't know what I'm going to say this one more time. Okay. Now that I know Mr. LaTruth watches our videos, Mr. LaTruth, this message is for you. I don't know how good the advice this is going to be, but it's going to be probably the best advice I can give you from one middle-aged adult to another. You're going to have to let that one go. Okay? You're going to have to. You can tell how much you love her because it seems like you just, you're just trying to do what you do, make it work. But you might have to just let that one slide. Now I know it's tough because you shared a lot of children together, stepchildren and paternal children. Mental health wise, going into the holiday season does not seem incredibly healthy for anyone. She is incredibly volatile, like plutonium, right? She's got some loose ions you don't even want to be touching. She does not take responsibility and or ownership for her actions. It's just not healthy. And also spilling out onto the internet, which is really bad. And the only way you're going to be able to salvage this message is to Mr. LaTruth. Only way you're going to actually be able to salvage your platform is to just leave that aside. Nobody at this point believes Brianna. Nobody. I know the tussle is real. I know that it did occur. That tussle was very much real, and it very much did happen. But like it's not good. It's just not good I don't think for his mental health at all. If you heard in this video here, he plays a recorded call that they had together, which we're not going to play because it's just volatile and no one should hear that. But in this recorded call here, you can literally hear him begging her to take ownership in her actions, and she's which is great, right? But she's quite oblivious. She is quite oblivious. She's very much like, she just is like aloof, she's just aloof, and she's just like, no. It's like, it's just wow. You believe he's innocent? I do. Absolutely, I do. And it's not about me believing, it's about what Brianna said. If you checked out our other 5 or 10 videos analyzing all of their scenarios, Brianna admits it herself. He didn't have to say anything. She did all the admitting. And it's right there. It's not as plain as day. It's not how we kind of analyze stuff and pick it apart. She says it herself. She was like, yeah, I did. I sure did dig through your pockets. I sure did, accost you with that spicy spray. I'm not going to say it. Spicy spray. after she went across the internet, said that he was all kinds of Ike Turners, okay? And then she turned around and said, "No." And then she turned around and said, "No, you don't. You've never tussled with me before, and you never accosted me before." She admitted that. And it just kind of went by the wayside. And I'm like, did people not hear what she's admitting it? He said, "Brianna, in the first call he had recorded with her, he said, Brianna, you know I've never Ike Turnered you. I've never Ike Turnered any of the kids. You know it. I just don't have that bone in my body from my upbringing." She's like, "Yeah, you don't. You don't do that." And then continued on her rant, her messaging tour, trying to make him out to be something he wasn't, after admitting that he wasn't. And I'm just like, are people just not listening to anything, or they just she's admit you understand what I mean? So spicy spray. So I just like, after she admitted all of that, I completely was like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's because she's playing into her gender roles, right? That women are to be believed, right? Women are to be believed, and women kind of, we do get that notion. I'm not gonna lie, we do. When women say, "Oh, I've been accosted," or something, people mostly believe us. Now, a lot of people don't, but for the most part, women do win that argument on, if they said that somebody had did something, most people are going to believe women. And she took it. I feel like she took advantage of that, and I'm very glad that he got those calls, that first call recorded, because she admitted to it. She admitted it. She admitted that he never, ever, in the history of their marriage, ever accosted her physically. Then turned around, took a lie detector test, literally, quite literally did, and then said, and never asked the examiner to ask her whether he had accosted her physically in the past before. She never asked the examiner to ask her that. It's crazy. And this call that they made together, I'm just going to summarize it for you guys. In this call, she admitted that he did help her build her platform, and that she really wasn't making much money without the help of him showing her how to build her platform. And you could tell immediately, once that switch came, he said, "You make $50,000 a month, Brianna." He said, "You've never given me any money." He said, "You've given me anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000 4 times." He said, "But for 4 years, I was paying all the bills off of his own platform." He said, "Then when I showed you how to build a platform, you went ahead and helped me with money, but that money went to bills. It's not like he was just taking the money and putting it in a Swiss bank account." He said that money went to household expenses. The fact that she's devoid of responsibility, like, I shouldn't have to help you pay all the bills for the house. How dare you ask me that?" I was taken aback. I was like, this is just the hill she's gonna like collapse on, I'm just like, that's your partner. You're supposed to be building together. Why are you offended that your partner asked you to help pay for your monthly expenses? She's a strange cup of fruit. She's very strange fruit. Let me get some of your comments. This is from Tovanya, says, "He's not, because the attention makes them money. He's posting on social media now. They both need." Well, that's how, I mean, these are digital creators. That's how they make their money. It is. It is. I'm not saying I agree with what is happening. I'm just saying they're digital creators. That's how they make their money. But great synopsis. This from Winslow says, "People are mad he recorded her, but not at her for bringing all this extra dramatic mess in the public. And not only that, but continuously dragging him for filth. It's sad. People just can't be accountable." Right? Like, he has to protect. He's not just a regular person like us, you guys. He is a digital creator. So he has to cross all his T's and dot all of his I's. Those calls have to record. Do they have to be sent to us? No. Does it make good TV? Yes. But he does have to protect his brand, because he could be losing out on brand deals because of what she's doing. He has to be able to feed his 5 or 6 kids. I think he has. He's got to feed those kids. Somebody's got to feed them. You know what I mean? Someone's got to feed those kids. So he has to protect himself. And if he gets Brianna on a recorded call saying, "Hey, you never did anything to me. I'm just this like narcissistic, selfish person," he has to have that recorded. Does he have to share it with us? No, but is it good, juicy gossip? Well, yeah. And we're gonna We're gonna lap it up, right? Um, yes, she admitted to that. She admitted to that, and that's a lot of potatoes. This from YMV says we have come up with many new names and slogans while observing the La Lion LaTruths. Funny, but not really. They are too much. They are too merch. They are too merch. It's a lot. I just feel really bad for Mr. LaTruth. Sue me, but I do feel bad for him. I do. I think it's so, it's like imagine building a business with someone and then they take it from you. They work with their attorneys and they secretly just take your entire business while you're sleeping. And you have to do all of this just to try to scrape some of it back. You understand what I mean? Like, he shouldn't have to produce content like this to draw his numbers. She should be on an apology tour, but the fact that he has to record his calls with her because she's so devoid of reality that's the real sad part. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't have to do that. Like, he shouldn't have to. I don't personally think that he should. I think that he should be able to just live his best life, and he just shouldn't have to be doing all of this because she won't take accountability. But at the end of the day, though, like, my personal, I think he should just walk away, and just walk away. That's what I think. This from Tawana says, I'm so tired of her crying and saying she told the truth. When she used him from the beginning, never loved him. No, she was looking for a lap dog. And I agree with you, Tawana. She was looking for a lap dog. She said she has very masculine energy. And so does Mr. LaTruth. And she was not trying to submit. And not to say that she has to. Okay. I want to make that clear. She didn't have to. But at the same time, you can't just make someone else submit. She needs to be with someone who has feminine energy, right? She needs to be with a man who's a little bit more softer and a little bit more like who's going to heal. There are men out there who what she says goes, and they're okay with that. But Mr. LaTruth, he is not one of them. He's not one of those guys who like is going to bow down, to anyone, which is that's his prerogative and his preference. But when two masculine energies meet, you guys, it is cruising for bruising. Okay. So it's just not a good mix. It's not a good mix. And it's sad because like he built up his entire platform, taught her how to do it, and then she went ahead and snatched his away, or at least is attempting to. So it's just right. Their whole situation is sad. This call is sad. If you want to listen to it, I encourage you to listen to it. I do encourage you to listen to it. Again, my personal advice to Mr. LaTruth is just walk away. You're not getting anything from it. Make the recordings you have to record to get, to be able to help protect your brand, because you're a digital creator and you have to protect your brand. That's how you eat. But just just walk away from that, because she's no good to you or to anyone in your sphere. Okay, that includes your sister, your brothers, heck, even your children, not the ones that she has, but just yours. Like, she's just no good for your children. The way she attempted to weaponize them against you. She needs intense psychotherapy, and to the umpteenth degree. She needs intense. It has to be intense. I never seen anything to the likeness in my life, and I'm way older than Brianna, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. And I don't know if it has to do with money or her proximity to it or anything of that nature, but it is quite unhealthy. Quite unhealthy. I did, and I was just kind of summarizing it for everyone. I don't want to play it here on my platform. I don't want to. It's just, I don't know. It's just. It just gives a lot of toxic energy. I'm trying to get into the holiday season, and I really don't want to talk about the LaTruth, y'all. This is our day off. So tomorrow we are not going to be here, but I will have a pre-recorded video for y'all because I want to cover this other story quite briefly. So I will have a pre-recorded video for you guys to watch if you just need something to watch. So I'll upload that tonight. It's about another story about a girl who passed away in a hotel. Like 2 days ago. It's giving Kanika, that story is definitely giving Kanika Jenkins. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do a summary of her story, and I'm gonna upload that tonight. And I hope you guys watch it and, do your thing, do your nosy bystanders thing. Now I want to go over. I don't want to talk about the LaTruth. I literally will just pray for Mr. LaTruth. I really feel bad for he is the real victim. I said that from the beginning. I'm gonna say that till I'm blue in the face. Mr. LaTruth is the actual victim of all of this. And the moment I knew he was the victim is when I heard their first recorded call, and you could hear his throat cracking when he said, You destroyed my life." He said that, and I was like, he meant that. And she when she responded back, she said, what did she say? She said, "It's over now. It's over." Like she was just like it's like she recognized for that split second that she had really messed up. You understand what I mean? She had really, really messed up. And you could tell that she knew she broke him and she wasn't proud of it. And that is what I analyzed out of that one quick sentence. Like she was like, "I really messed up. Like I really did. I really made him out to be something he's not." You know, I literally made him out to be something he's not. And I really did. I could be potentially destroying his entire platform, And when she said that, I was like, she knows what she did. She was just like, whatever. It's just, it's over, I guess. And you could hear him. It was sad. It was a very sad, um, it was that, that phone call that he had recorded, the first one, was really sad because you could just hear that it was just bad. So and that I actually empathized with Mr. LaTruth, and I actually could see kind of this glimmer into Brianna. Like that was the first time I thought that she actually exuded real emotion. Like she was really emotional about how she did that to someone, you know what I mean? And she could tell that he didn't deserve it. And she was just like, I already, it's too late, at least in her mind, it was too late. So you could tell by that was the only time Brianna expressed emotion that I actually believed her, but it was because she felt guilty, you know. That's my personal opinion. Mr. LaTruth is the victim. He is the whole way through, up and down. You accuse somebody of having a pew pew off top, he's the victim. You understand what I mean? Off top. That means that you don't actually see him as someone who poses a threat to you, but you want someone else to see that he poses a threat to you. So you're weaponizing your tears. That's weaponization of tears. That is what we accuse white women of doing. She did that. He didn't do that. She did that. They're not both, and I understand there's a lot of people like, oh, they're both crazy. No, they're not. It's the Mr. LaTruth, his only crime is marrying her. That's it. There's nothing else. Call him a sap. Call him call him, Cupid. Call him, lovesick. Call him not making proper decisions. Call him that. But there's nothing about Mr. LaTruth that exudes he is just this horrible No, it's not. Just if you don't like him, just say you don't like him. But there's nothing in this entire story that proves he is a womanizer, emotionally or physically, at least physically, right? The one that we're analyzing. And there's no definitive evidence. Brianna has never produced any evidence that he actually stepped out on her, ever. None. What Brianna has admitted to is spraying spicy spray at her husband, accosting him to get his own private devices, lying on him and his name, which is literally his livelihood, weaponizing his children against him, telling them these fantastical stories that don't exist. Literally, the children said, I've never seen it, but I believe Brianna. That is weaponizing his children. That's not even her child. It is not Mr. LaTruth. It's Brianna. And his only crime is loving that. Okay? That's it. Just cancel Brianna. Mr. LaTruth, he's good to go. How he's going to be able to rebuild himself, I don't know. But what we won't do at least what I won't do, you guys are more than welcome to do in the comments. But what I'm not going to do is use my platform to slander someone who's obviously a victim of a nut. She is. Yeah. It's that simple. You know, you don't got to remember, you already know, you don't gotta like my hypothesis. And I hate tooting my own horn. I hate being like that, but it's like, when have I been wrong yet? Clock's I'm waiting. When? Just tell me. But like, Steph, you were wrong. Here, here, here. Just tell me, and I'll concede. I'm just waiting. Nothing. All right. The latter half of this show, I want to. The latter half of this show, I can see the Facebook chat here. See, I can see the Facebook chat. Nothing. The latter half of this show, I want to talk about the comments and the questions that I had missed on a lot, because I missed a lot. You guys know the comment section be going, and I just don't get time to get to it. No, he's not. He might have some tendencies, right? But what you're seeing is someone who is exuding a specific personality, right? So you're like, oh, his shirt's always open. He's always, pantsless or whatever people accuse him of. That's for show, right? He is a digital creator. So you can't look at him in the lens like you look at your uncle on Facebook, right? You got to look at him in a different lens. You got to look at him as an actor, somebody who's portraying a specific role, right? The only type of slivers you're going to really get from who Mr. LaTruth really is when you listen to those private phone calls that he has recorded. That is who he is. He is somebody who's trying to protect his name and his brand, but also, which is his downfalls, he's also trying to win back Brianna because you could tell he loves her, you know? And it's not for the oh, he's trying to save his platform. His platform is it's pretty solid. What he's trying to do is he's trying to you could tell he's trying to just win her back, like trying to get her to come down to reality. She's so gone. You could just, when he's talking to her, he's trying to convince her of reality. That's why he's so stern when he talks, but he's not a narcissist. I don't get that from him at all. My personal opinion. That's my opinion, but thank you for that one. Thank you. So I wanted to get to some of the comments, the ton of comments that I missed on Shanquilla Robinson's story. So I missed a lot of comments, and when I have time, sometimes I'll go back and read some of the comments in the comment section. Double Diaz needs to stop. So sometimes in my comment section, I miss a lot of comments. So what I'll do is I'm going to pull up my screen here. And I want to go through some of the comments because I feel like because I had missed a good chunk of them, I want to kind of like reread some of them. So I'm going to go just back to my last live stream because, honey, I won't be able to make it that far. Let's just go back to the last live, okay? Because it's too much. It's too merch, okay? And because we're here, then we'll be able to see some of them, and I want to read them. Okay, I hope it comes up in order. It does. Okay, and let me get to some of your comments down here in case I missed them. This is from Carla. Carla said, Chief said on Roku, no shade to the Mexican authorities. There is shade. Why? The Mexican government is going to be so busy covering their behinds, they're gonna let everyone walk. The U.S. needs to pick up the case, period. That's a really great question. That was not her cousin. I think the family came out and said that they didn't know her, but thank you very much, DJ Genesis. Back to this question. It's not the Mexican government. It's the Cabo City Police. So those are two different entities, right? That's like saying the Los Angeles PD dropped the ball, and then you're saying, and then someone said, "Oh, the American government is so corrupt." It's like, no, that story is in reference to the Los Angeles PD. So this story is in reference to the Cabo PD, not the Mexican government. Does that make sense? So the Mexican government, they're going to do whatever the U.S. asks them to do. If the U.S. asks for them to be extradited, or the U.S. says we're going to take the case, the U.S. government, the Mexican government is like, okay, less hair off our chest, So there's no shade to the Mexican government. There's shade to the Cabo City police for those, but it's not really, because the Cabo, I think the only anomalies are with the coroner. That's my personal opinion. The only anomalies are with the coroner. The coroner's report is the one that doesn't match nothing. So it's the coroner, all the shade to him, because who told him to put that report together? And he's the constant one changing his reports. Nobody else is changing anything. The CPD report is in line with Nazir's live stream. They fall toe and toe together. They're at perfect sync, right? It's the coroner who's, you see what I mean? It's him. It's him who it's him who, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the coroner's report that doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make much sense. Does that make sense to anyone? It doesn't make much sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it's wonky for me. It's a bit wonky. And I don't know why it's just wonky. I guess we'll never know. This from Jackie. Jackie says, all that knew her until she would be locked up at all. The mother, Brianna, and anyone else that knew. If someone, my child, until I wouldn't wait until his wife said that she wanted his devices and instigated the fight. I hope CPS looks at all that. I don't understand what you're saying. All that knew her up until he didn't, though. And we know he didn't, because she admitted he didn't. I don't know if I understand your comment. I'm gonna park it there and we'll revisit it, Jackie. This is from Winslow says, I agree, but I hate how we are blinded and are in a group herd mentality. It seems rare that people use critical thinking when it comes to the internet. When it comes to the internet, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pull this back up. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna answer that. Like, when it comes to the LaTruth situation, I think people I don't really know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think that a lot of things are at play. She's a woman. She's pretty. She's impassionate, so it translates well, which is, I don't know. A lot of people are just like, oh, she's a victim. The groupthink thing, it does not make sense to me. Oh, well, of course not. Now, come on now. Come on. Be for real, Ebony. Big Eb. Be for real, Big Eb. You know that he not going to admit to none. Come on now. Come on. What is he come on. He's not going to admit to anything. Because he himself is a crazy person. Come on now. Come on. This is Big Eb. This is from Carla. Carla says, as always, you're correct, Chief. I'm just saying, toot my own horn. I don't really admit to being correct a lot, because I think it just gives like, ooh, look at me. But sometimes when I got to tell y'all, like, Sometimes I'm correct, y'all. Please listen. Um, you said they want to keep the tourism bag coming, so they may prosecute everyone, including the Capitol Police, if there is corruption found. I don't think there's corruption in the Capitol Police. I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from, Carla, that the Capitol Police aren't under investigation. I don't know who said that. I would like to see. No one seems to be able to produce anything for me that says on an official document the Capitol Police are under investigation. I don't know where that came from. There is no corruption. That police report is, I think it's accurate after, or at least the review of the report. I don't think they're under investigation. They ain't got nothing to be under investigation for, at least from what we know. This from Desiree says he just reported that there was an arrest warrant, but he gave no names in the warrant. So how would he know? Well, okay. So first you have to figure out who issued it, which is usually easy to do. Well, no, it's not easy to do because where would it go? Like if there was a warrant issued, he would have to know who issued it, which means he'd have to know what county or what federal court issued it. So if it was like a FISA warrant, he would never be able to see that. No one does. No one can see that except the president of the United States. So it's not that, but that's at the federal level. Like in order for him to see a federal warrant, he'd have to have an account at this website here. Hold on, let me pull it up. He'd have to have an account here, right? So in order to see federal warrants in any federal case, you'd have to have this website readily available, which most people do because most they refile bankruptcy. So you're going to be using this court a lot. So this place. So if there was a warrant issue, it'd be here. There's only 13 federal courts in the United States. So I guess he'd have to check every federal court because the case it's an international crime, so it's not going to be at your local Fulton County Superior Court. Right? It's going to be here. Yeah, and they would have to use Interpol. Interpol is the international police who issue those warrants out. And they're the ones who issue the warrants out at the national level so that they can serve them, right? So Interpol would have had that. So if he has it, I don't know if he got connected to Interpol. I don't know anyone at Interpol. Or if the U.S. took the case, then it'd be here. But the U.S. would have had to have announced that. And the federal government, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the federal government doesn't issue statements on the weekdays. They do them on on the Friday evenings, and they usually submit it as a letter because the U.S. doesn't like to deal with the press, so they'll issue like a little paper, like, "Oh, here's this," and people are like, "That's a bombshell," and they know that people are going to flood the White House press room to ask questions. That's what they release the statements on Friday evenings when everything's closed, because they don't want y'all to ask them questions until they can figure it out. So remember what we said yesterday. If the United States takes the case, they have to submit a formal letter to the U.S. Attorney General, which happens to be Merrick Garland. And Merrick Garland has to approve it and says, yes, you can take the case. And then when Merrick Garland approves it to that State Department, the State Department will take that approval letter as well as their findings, like, hey, we believe that we want to take this case. And they submit it to the Mexican State Department and their Attorney General. And their Attorney General then in turn turns over everything they have to the U.S. State Department. And then the U.S. State Department will use these federal courts to issue that case. So if North Carolina does have say there's a warrant available, two things have to be in place. First, the federal government has to announce that to the Merrick Garland, our U.S. Attorney General, that they want to take the case. Which I don't think they did, because if they did, I think we'd know. Then two, they'd have to submit that to the Mexican State Department. Okay. Then they would begin these are the only courts that the federal government uses. Then they would use these courts to issue out warrants. So if he's correct, then that warrant is somewhere here. But the first step has to happen first before this step. Does that make sense? I hope I explained that well. I'm only explaining that to you because I have a degree in political science, so it's the only reason why I know that. That stuff isn't just like stuff that spews at the top of my head. It's just common knowledge for me. Okay. This is from Queening says, oh, it's not for me. This is from Drux says they can be charged in Mexico and in the U.S. after they serve their time. They can be charged in Mexico. They cannot. Drux. No, they can't. You don't have to ask me that. You can ask any legal eagle across YouTube or TikTok. They already discussed the US the international code on this. If Mexico takes the case and they are formally prosecuted, the US does not get jurisdiction. It's like an international double jeopardy law that the US can't violate. So that is false information. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to delete this comment because I don't want people in here reading this thinking this is the truth. This is not true. And this is actually incorrect. And I can't, no offense to you, but I can't leave comments like this just swirling on the internet. I'm going to have to delete it. Okay. My bad, my boy. It's from Danny. Dan says real news stations reported it as well a few minutes ago. Did they? No way. Hold on here. Hold on. Here we go. Sean said Mexican authorities have issued an arrest warrant in the name. Who's on the warrant? Ooh, child. Can I look it up or y'all gonna leave? Hold on. Let me pull it up. Y'all know I'm slow. Let's see. Ooh, it's right here. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, y'all. Hold tight. Ugh, my neighbors are burning these like Duraflame logs and they're awful. Ooh, and they brought it. They just issued this almost 10 minutes ago. Okay, I'm going to read this. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up the screen. I got to read it now. Now I got to read it. Okay. Hold on. It says, that an arrest warrant has been issued in the death of Shanquella Robinson. Daniel De La Rosa, a prosecutor for the state of California, Baja Sur, told ABC a friend that Robinson, who was the direct aggressor, is being sought for international authorities on charges of femicide. That doesn't make any sense. Told ABC a friend of Robinson's, who is the direct aggressor. That's Daejhane Jackson. That's the only direct aggressor. Ooh, they gonna hang her out to dry. Ooh, they gonna hang her out to dry. She the only one with a warrant. Ooh. Ooh, they did her dirty. They did her. Ooh. Ooh. They did her. Ooh. Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I am speechless. I'm speechless. Wow. I'm speechless, y'all. I'm sorry. Um, dang. Dang. Let me finish reading the rest of this. Wow. It says the case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. This case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the interment of the victim and against an alleged aggressor, a friend of hers who was a direct aggressor. They charged her with femicide. They charged her with femicide. It says this case is fully clarified. We even have a court order. There's an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the to the detriment of the victim and against an alleged protractor. I'm sorry, I can't read that. A friend of hers who was a direct aggressor, De La Rosa told ABC News. Actually, it wasn't a quarrel, but instead a direct aggression. It's when an attack is made on a woman specifically because she's a woman or in regards to her gender. No. I think it has to do with the fact that Shanquella didn't fight back. That's an international hate crime. It's not just a hate crime, it's international. It has nothing to do with the aggressor. It has to do with the victim. So when you think of femicide, it's only the victim. If she got attacked by a bush, okay, a conscious bush, it doesn't matter that it was a bush that did it. If the bush did it because she was a female, specifically gender norms, then you're going to be charged with femicide. Okay, it has nothing to do with the aggressor. So take the aggressor's brain out of your mind. Just think aggressor. Don't think aggressor gender, femininity, none of that. Just think aggressor. Man. Y'all think she gonna sing? I'm 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 shook. I'm shook. I'm shook is all peanuts, y'all. I'm shook. Hold on one second. I gotta pull some. Wow. I'm gonna continue reading this, but let me let child. I'm just shook. I'm shook. I'm shook. I am. Hold on one second, you guys. I gotta pull something up. Hold on. Let me get some of your questions. You said definitely telling she ain't gonna slide. That's crazy. I mean, I'm like, and they hit her. Sorry, I had to look something up. And they hit her with the femicide, y'all. Let me finish reading this. It says, we are carrying out all the pertinent procedures, such as the Interpol. I told you the Interpol alert. So Interpol is the international police, and they're the ones who are going to give Mexico the arrest warrant to go and pick her up. So that's what Interpol is going to do. Okay. See, I know my thing. So, such as Interpol and request for extradition to the United States of America. It's about two Americans, the victim and the culprit. Authorities have not identified who they're working on the rest. Come on, you know who it is. It says Michael Letteriti, an expert on femicide in Mexico, said when a woman is killed in the country, authorities are often required to open an investigation as femicide. From there, they look at whether she was killed for reasons due to her gender or if there was specific circumstances such as domestic violence. ABC News told Robinson's mom on Wednesday evening that the arrest warrant had been issued in her case. I feel so good, her mom said. That's a good feeling. That's what we have been waiting for someone to finally be held accountable and arrested. I just can't wait for justice to be served. Yeah, they could. Absolutely could. There was 5 people, or there's 4 other people in the room, so somebody saw something. Somebody saw something. This from Jazzy. Jazzy said, "It doesn't matter who attacked her. It is an international hate crime seemingly unprovoked made on a woman." Precisely. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Wow. I'm shook. I'm shook. I'm shocked. I don't know why there's no other. Now here's the thing. Are they do you think okay, everybody put on your I don't know if you guys know the term. I don't know if you've heard the term. It's called an armchair lawyer. So an armchair lawyer is somebody who pretends to be a lawyer, like you talk legal stuff, and it's just like you're just kind of like leaned in at home discussing legal stuff, but you're not a registered attorney. So everybody get your armchair lawyer on. Do you think that this is a way for them to get the other get Daejhane and get the other people? Do you guys think that? Like they get her with the warrant, then she comes and she spills the beans on the rest of them, right? Kind of cooks her a deal because she could get a deal. She could get like instead of death, they'll just give her life. Cooks a deal and then gets the 4 other people. Because remember, Nazir wasn't there. So even if he does get charged, he can easily get out of it. He's like, I wasn't there. Here's my flight and itinerary. And the prosecutor could simply just drop the charges. So he's got a way out. As for the others, well, it's not that simple. It's definitely not that simple. Um, it's not that simple. Hold on one second, you guys. I want to change this. Okay, let me get some of your question. This, you know, those logs you get from Costco for your fireplace? My house smells like that. I have a fireplace, but my neighbor is burning them, and it's like burning the roof of my mouth. I hate the smell of them, and I don't know how to get rid of the smell. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get your comments. Just give me one moment. Okay, hold on one second. I just got to pull something else. I just want to look at something really quickly. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, hold on. Okay, never mind. I looked something up. Okay, let me get to your comments. I know I'm missing a lot of them. Woo wee woo child. It's ghetto. Okay. Woo child the ghetto. Okay, so I missed a lot of your comments. Hold on, you guys. It's from Jazzy. Old lady says she was supposed to do an interview on Shade Room. That wasn't her. I wonder if this has something to do with it. Her page went viral, bringing attention to her. No, that wasn't her. That was a burner account. That was not her. Brad and I saw that as well, but no, that was not her. This from Broderick says it went from the FBI isn't looking into the case to 2 days later charging someone with child. Well, they move fast. They move fast. I feel the I feel like the State Department put a lot of pressure on the Mexican government. Like y'all better issue a warrant right now, or because if we got to do it, y'all gonna have some issues with some trade deals in the future. So they jumped on it. She don't need a deal. She gonna try to get one. Let's be for real, y'all. She's gonna try to get one. She's not a dummy. She's gonna try to get one. by giving up those friends. This is from Nikki. Nikki says, I hope she does start singing because all they all need to be held accountable, except Nazir. He's the only one who doesn't. But I agree with you. You say, yeah, definitely think they're trying to persuade her to save herself so she will snitch. Man, if she snitch and get immunity, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked as chagrin if she snitched and got immunity. I wouldn't blame her, though. I wouldn't blame her. I would think it sucks, but that's how the legal system works. Nicole Green says, get some incense from a smoke shop. They are stronger than the ones at your local. I do have some. I should burn some. I should. This is from C says, who's gonna rat? I'm late to the party. So if you just joined us, Daejhane, I think I have a picture of her. Let me try to find one. Give me a second, y'all. Let me try to find an image of her. Okay, here we go. Let me, can I do that? Ooh, I can share this episode. This is Daejhane. The Mexican State Department just issued a warrant out for her arrest for femicide. Possibly. I don't know. I'm not seasoned on international or Mexican law. I'm sorry, E. Ortiz. I don't know. I am close enough to the border to ask, though, but that's a great question. This from Shayla. Shayla says, someone already spilled. They're going after the aggressor first. She's the aggressor. She's the only documented aggressor. Everyone else is just a looky-loo, unless other videos surface. But for now, Daejhane is the only aggressor. She's the only one. There's no one else. Okay? And I'm talking about physical tussler. It's just her. There could be other videos, I'm sure. But as for right now, we can only go with what we know, and she is who they're referring to. This is from Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, I think every one of them will be testifying to what part they played. I agree. Linda says, does anyone think they planned this whole thing? They did not. They're not smart enough to plan something this elaborate. They're just not. Notice there were no pics of them from the beginning of the trip until this video. Most of their pics were on their Instagram stories as well as their Snapchat. So those had expired. That's why we don't have a whole lot of documents of them. But no, that's incorrect. They did not. I mean, that's a good hypothesis, but it's not valid because they don't seem like they're smart enough to choreograph something of this magnitude. Does that make sense? You says, I'm thinking, how do you represent someone like that in court? She needs to just accept her fate. She could argue something, theft, crime of passion. Like she could say Shanquella stole from her and she got into a heated exchange and say that it was a crime of passion and get a really reduced sentence, right? I don't know. I don't know what her defense is going to be, but it'd be really interesting. This is from Words the T says, definitely they start with her and get the others. Toya says she be lying. Why she wait until that got sick to leave and act like? I don't know what that means. This from Parrish says, found it. Found what? This is from Jazzy says, listen, Mexican government didn't want the smoke. The story has weight. They do. Brandy says, I don't know enough about Mexican legal system. I testify against others involved to get a lesser sentence. I don't know about that. Yeah, neither do I. I don't really know much about it as well. This is from Toilet Tish says, they were out living their best life until the story went viral. That is why videos are limited. Correct. Tavania says, so they arrived back on November 1st and went to the mom's house. So they didn't leave the next day. Who said they arrived November 1st? Where did that come from? Can you let me know? And if so, where did it come from? And do you have a credible source to where it came from? That's all I asked. Thank you. Tolia says, so the so-called live with Winter and Shanquella did something shady, but not sure if that live was really Winter. I don't know if it was her either. Again, grain of salt. Grain of salt, you guys. St. Hunter says, people really assume that they are on some Spy Kids camera, Carmen Sandiego mess. They aren't that smart, y'all. They're not. Unfortunately, they're not. Not for their sake. He said that's not how it works. There are people that commit way worse crimes than that and have a defense. Yeah, she could definitely have a defense. She's gonna have to bring a defense. She doesn't want to go to jail, so I assume she's gonna have a defense. Nicole Green says crime of passion wouldn't work. The neck fracture makes it sound like overkill to me. It's her defense, y'all. And I'm giving an example. I don't know what her defense is gonna be. I don't know what her defense is gonna be. I have no clue. But she could argue that. She could argue anything. No one actually knows. She could argue, well, anything. She could argue anything. Hold on one second. Hold on one moment, you guys. I gotta check this real quick. Hold on. What's her name? Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to look at this. I'm trying to read more into this warrant. Okay, hold on one second. It says at first, friends of Robinson's family, the first friends told Robinson's family she died from alcohol poisoning, but the autopsy shows she had passed with a broken neck and spine. Timeline obtained the death certificate. Blah 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 blah. We already know that. The following day, the state attorney general's office in Mexico told ABC Stellman added that they stated the investigation into her killing. U.S. State Department FBI also investigating the case. Robinson's death has drawn national attention. Oh, her family's GoFundMe raised $370,000. I hope they spend all that money to go to trial and watch this case play out. I hope they do in person. They deserve that. Sorry, let me get some of your comments. I missed a lot. Kenny says they did good hiding mugshot coming soon. It's Interpol, so I don't know if they have mugshots. They could, but I don't know. Remember, Interpol issues the warrant, or Mexico issues the warrant, gives it to Interpol, and we can pull that up so you guys kind of have an idea of what Interpol is. It's this is them, okay? This is Interpol. So Interpol is it is a international, like, it's like the international FBI. So if you have, someone who's fled your country to another country and you issue a warrant for them, you don't give the warrant to the feds here in the United States, you give it to them so they can issue it, so they can pick them up. So are the ones who pick her up. That's what they are. They're like the international federal government, US Marshals, if you will. Okay, so that's who they are. So yeah, the federal government here in the United States is going to know about it, but Interpol is the one who's going to get that warrant from Mexico and go and serve it, which means they're going to pick her up. Okay, that's their only role in all of US diplomatic politics, is to issue, or to pick up warrants. Okay, because I learned so much in your life. Well, thank you. Ashlyn says, I wonder, do you think she's turning herself in, or will she run? Oh, no, she's turning herself in. She doesn't have any money to run. I think any money that Daejhane does have is definitely going to an international attorney. I don't think it's going to go to fleeing the country. And also, too, the moment that her story went viral and the Mexican authorities start getting into it, the federal government already put a freeze on her passport. She wasn't going anywhere no time soon. So you don't got to worry about that. She wasn't going anywhere. She was just laying low. This from Jazzy says, I hope that teaches others before jumping or fighting others that don't fight back. One of my mutuals on TikTok made a really great video that said that, that kind of like covered this, Jazzy. She said, well, y'all are in y'all mid to late 20s. Why are y'all still fighting? Like, you know, I said, that's actually a great question. I think the last physical altercation I ever got into was like middle school. Literally middle school. So, like, at what point do you stop tussling? Is my question to you guys. What age did y'all stop tussling? When did y'all stop tussling? Because I definitely know I was about 12 or 13. So I'm interested in how the arrest process is going to go. Pretty simple. Just imagine on a very large scale. Okay. So instead of it just being like your prosecutor goes straight to the sheriff's department and they issue the warrant, imagine a giant nation issuing a tiny warrant to a giant organization who has to go and pick you up. Not good. No, I didn't. Never. It was one. It was my friend Erica, but no, it wasn't. I was never out here doing that. You said as soon as I got an RN degree. So you were still tussling in nursing school? Child. Let's be for real. Just bougie. Let's be for real. She should have she should have fled when that video got leaked. That's just my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. She dumb for sticking around. What were you sticking around for? It- Everyone else didn't really have to do much, right? Because there's not a whole lot of evidence on what everyone else did except stand around, okay, right? They didn't break it up. But Daejhane, girl, why are you still in America? Why was she still in America? That's the part I don't get. Like, what were you still doing here? It didn't even make any sense. It didn't even make any sense. She wasn't even a smart criminal. This from Pia says, imagine you eat turkey and you get a knock at the door. I didn't want to imagine that. Yeah, it is. We knew it was coming. We knew at least what's coming for Dejanay. No money. I'd have tried something. I'd have hitchhiked or something. Yeah, she probably did. Not the Last Supper. Y'all need to stop. Thank you, Tavania. I'll pull that up now. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna say this once and one time only, since most of you guys are new here. Okay, I'm gonna say this once and one time only. Okay, support small media. I know we don't talk about it enough, but we have to. The Charlotte Observer is a tiny publication. Okay, they're not as big as the New York Times. They're not as big as Reuters, but with their being a tiny publication, they have gone above and beyond to really do the Lord's work for Shanquilla. And they're a tiny public media company or a paper magazine and digital newspaper. Support small media, support journalists, not North Carolina Beats, not me. I'll support me because I'm smart, but not me. I'm not a journalist, but this is real media. These are real journalists, and you should be supporting them. You should be clicking on their news sites. When people publish them, you should go directly to them. Always ask the person for the link and go directly to them. Their ads, they have AdSense on their page, and it pays them to keep their journalists with jobs. Okay, because of them, we got that police report, and they pay for a translator. So very proud of public media. Go Charlotte Observer. You guys are doing the Lord's work. We are forever indebted to you. Okay, so I'm just saying, support real journalists here at the Charlotte Observer. So let me get into this timeline, okay? And thank you very much for saying that they updated it. It's nice to know that. All right, so here is what we know. The story has spread on social media. Here is the timeline. Ooh, like the New York Times. Okay, so I'm subscribed to New York Times. Not gonna lie to you guys, I like mainstream media. Okay. Shh, don't tell nobody, but I do like mainstream media. I do like the New York Times. I borrow my friend's subscription to The Economist. I read Reuters and I read The Guardian. Okay, those are my favorite media companies. But the New York Times does this kind of like uh it's just like really good. It's like an interactive timeline that the New York Times does. This is by who actually published this? Let's give them their props. Who published this? Oh, they don't have the publisher here. Oh, here we go. Charlotte Observer reporters Callie Cox and Sarah Solio contributed to this story. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Callie and Sarah. Okay, so here's the timeline. Ooh, and they got the little, ooh, honey, they got all of this. Okay, here we go. Shanquella arrives in Mexico. Ooh, this is very much giving New York Times. Okay, so here's the timeline of what we know about her death. So Robinson arrives in Mexico. Robinson travels to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with a group of her friends on vacation. Her father told CNN that she was with friends from her time in WSSU. And that she spoke with her mother on the phone on October 28th, the last time she talked to her parents. Robinson's mother had told media outlets that her daughter was with a group of her friends having a meal prepared by a private chef during the call. Videos shared online in the wake of the death claimed that Robinson interacted with her friends while on the trip, including making plans to go swimming. Here is where the resort is. That is the Pacific Ocean, if you didn't know already. I'm sure most of you guys do. Boom. The next part of the timeline, and they have it timestamped here. I love this timeline. They returned home November 1st. I said that. I said that. I said that. I said that in my first video. I said that in my first video when we talked about Shanquilla. I said I said did they finish out the trip? Everyone said no. They came home the next day. No, they didn't. That trip. They stayed. I did. Ooh, that's the last time I listened to The Crowd. Next time I needed that was I slipped up on that one. They finished that trip. That's when the trip was supposed to end. October 31st, November, like late night. I In my first live stream discussing this case, we talked about it. I'm gonna pull the receipts, honey. I'm gonna pull the receipts. I'm gonna pull the receipt. I said that. I said they finished that whole trip. They all guilty. Even if Nazir showed up after the fact, he finished out the trip. Ooh. Let's thank you. My hypothesis is how the tussle began, all right? But the reason why I find that very odd and striking is because the reason why I find it odd and striking That fireplace my neighbor's burning, I feel like it's in my clothes. Okay. So it's because one or two things could play out. One, they just could not afford to get their tickets transferred, which I feel like they didn't even try. If you ask me, I feel like they didn't even try. But didn't Nazir say they went home the next day? We're gonna have to take some steps back. Now, I'm not here to shade the Charlotte Observer, but I want to know. Let me just fast forward, you guys. I want to see. I wonder if they have late October, early November. I'll send an email to these two girls today. I need to know where did they get that from? I want to know where they got that. Do they have evidence that they flew home on the 21st, on November 1st? I need to see that. I need to email these reporters, like, how do you know that they returned on the 1st? I never saw anything on the internet that said that. I think I only went based off of what Nazir said. He said, we didn't do ATVs. We didn't do this. I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to do none of this. Now, I took that for them going home early, but maybe we should have took that as him saying that they had to prepare Shanquilla for her to arrive back home, so they couldn't do anything fun. They basically I should have took his statement as not as they went home early, but that they had to use the rest of their trip to prepare Shanquilla. So they could be right, and I could have mistook what Nazir said. I should have took it differently. I took it wrong. I should have took it differently. Okay. Back on track. Let's go back. All right. So we're here. Right? We're here? Yes, we're here. Okay, wait. We're here. Okay. Let me get some of your comments, and then I want to get to the next step on the time. This timeline is beautifully put together. Shout out to y'all. Didn't someone say they went to another hotel? Didn't they change hotels? I don't know. They probably had to because of her body. More than likely they had to. So I haven't seen any proof of this, you guys. Gigi and Taisha, I haven't seen any proof of that, but I can believe that. I can believe that, right? Because of her untimely demise. This is from Kyle says, you don't think the fight started concerning money at all? I feel like they wanted Shanquilla's money and felt like they were owed something. I feel like it had to do with Alyssa's sister. That's what my opinion is. So Nazir definitely knows more if he stayed. But if he stayed because they had to prepare Shanquilla for her parents, then he was right. He didn't get to do any of the fun stuff because they were, on the phone with the parents, getting the money sent over to the hospital, and then getting it over because the father did say that she was at a funeral home that transported her, then getting her back to the funeral. So even if they stayed, even if Nazir, I'm talking about him, not the rest. I'm talking about even if Nazir stayed, I think they stayed because he felt as though he had a duty to at least get the paperwork in line. You understand what I mean? Because someone had to be there to get the paperwork in line and take the money from the parents and get it over to the funeral home. So I don't think he stayed and was riding ATVs. I think the group collectively stayed to make sure all of that stuff was done, at least to the best of their ability, because they're not next of kin, so they can only do what they can do. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope I explained that. This is from B. Ashland says, so they lied to Nazir about the alcohol. Yes. Okay. This is from Lakeisha says, but he still isn't being honest. About what? What is he not being honest about? Let me know. Is it Talea? Talea says, the father said he did all the research and found where her body was. Now, when he says that, is it because it's so hard to discern Shanquilla's mom and dad because they've never done interviews together. They don't seem like they talk to one another, and it seems like they're always constantly doing their own research. So when she says the mom says something, the dad says something, everyone's like, "Oh, they're trying to do this." And it's like, but I don't think the mom and the dad do they even communicate? I have a question. Like, do they even communicate? Does that make sense to you guys? Like, the dad says something, then the mom says something, the dad says something, the mom says something, the dad says something. And you're just like, are y'all talking to each other before y'all do these interviews? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being for real. Like, dude, I don't know because divorced people don't talk, so I don't know if they talking to each other. So the mom's like, they asked me for 6,000, and the daddy like, they asked me for 5,000, and then I'm just like, but did y'all talk to each other or something, or y'all just like I don't know, right? I'm just like I don't want to take the words of two people telling two separate stories and make it seem as though something nefarious has happened when we should just be asking the parents, are y'all talking to each other before you share this story? Because y'all not even cross-referencing your own stuff. So I don't want it to come across as everyone being confused because the mom and dad are sharing two different stories because they're refusing to talk to one another. Does that make sense to people? Because it's like I feel like when my parents are saying stuff and I'm like, did you talk? Did dad say that? Well, he didn't say that. Okay, so so where did that come from? That's what it feels like. When you hear them talk, it's just like, or my dad will say that, like, when did mom say that? Oh, I think your mama said it. Did you talk? Did you ask mom? Did you talk to? You haven't talked to mom. You don't talk to her. Did you talk to her? That's what it feels like. It just that's what it feels like. He's absolutely both dealing with their own thing, trying to cope and unaware of what the other is doing. Yes, that's why it seems such. Thank you, Tracy. Great last name, Faulkner. There's a really good uh an American folk writer by the name Faulkner. I forget what his first name is, but that's what that reminds me of. Yes, they're both just doing they're trying to figure stuff out, doing their own thing, and it's just coming across as like not in a bad way, but contradictory. And I simply just want them to talk to each other first before they do all of this because it just confuses all of us. This from MJ says they didn't share two different stories. The dad said that he spent $7,000 in total, and the mom said the friend asked for 5,000 to get the doctor there. Yeah, they are. They are sharing. Some of their stories are just so different. Like it's all over the place. It's like, did they? Maybe I missed it. I didn't see any interview with them together, but I could have missed it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I didn't see it. Sierra says, can you re-explain your theory on the fight with Alyssa's sister? I missed it. I think because Alyssa's sister died on the 28th at 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time that I believe Alyssa found out was the next day when the viral tussle occurred. I think that they were all trying to get I think they were all in agreements to go home, and I think that Shanquilla didn't want to. I think in my personal opinion, Shanquilla's like, "Y'all can go home. I'm gonna stay. This is my vacation. I think Alyssa should go home." And I think they couldn't all I don't think they could afford to change their flight, and I think Shanquilla was a moneybags who could afford to change everyone's flight to go home, but I don't think Shanquilla wanted to give up her vacation for Alyssa and her sister's untimely demise. And I think that's when the fight ensued. That's my theory. I could be wrong, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the theory. I like it. You're not getting it. What am I not getting? This from Gigi says, yes, they did interview together. Thank you very much. This from Al says, girl, my mama and daddy would have been the same way. Girl, the same. Like, what? To mine too. Good theory. Thank you, Sierra. That's the best working theory I got because it's like they're on vacation while one of their friends' sisters passes away. It seems like they would all know, and it seems like they would all be discussing to go home. You know, that's what it seems like. I think so, Bernadette. I think so. Um, I think so. But that's my theory. You don't have to agree with it. Remember, you guys don't have to agree with my theory. My theory is not to be agreed with. My theory is to be worked out for yourselves. You have to work it out. If you don't agree with it, you got to argue back. You can't just say, ain't no way. Why is it no way? Tell me why. Tell me why. That's all. Just tell me why. I had to defend my um I have to defend my hypothesis. That's just the scientific method, you guys. We're really supposed to be defending your thesis. This is not my thesis. This is not my thesis. I'm just defending my hypothesis. This is from Brynette. Brynette says someone made a point the other day. Shanquilla probably fronted the money on the villa, and they paid her the day of, and were probably asking for the money to go back home. Who said that? Because that is fantastic. Who said that? That's I don't know who said that, but I like that. Yes, I can see that in my brain works. The reason why is because Daejhane, when she only said a couple of things in that tussle video, but she sounded like she was offended. Like she took offense to something. So what could have possibly offended her? Maybe Shanquilla not giving them the money to go home. That's offensive, especially when you know your villa mate sister had met her untimely demise. That's offensive, especially if you're like this with Alyssa or Elise, however you pronounce her name. Yeah. The first day they arrived, the October 28th. What's up, Lola? Lola says, Steph, just got off. Will you do a replay later? But want to recap. Oh, Daejhane Jackson warrant was issued out for her arrest by the Mexican police. The Mexican police has submitted their warrant to Interpol, which is the international police, to go and execute it here in the United States. Wild. That's the recap. And right now we're just reading comments and going over the timeline. That's all. But I'm shocked. And Daejhane is the only one charged, as far as we know. This from Eris Crew says, I think they drugged her. They did not. They drug her out of bed. Got you. They probably could. And whooped her. I think the doctor, police, and the friends left her in the house for the maid to find. The maid did not find her. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. I do believe they drug her out, but I don't think that. Do you know how much of a conspiracy all of these people, the likelihood of all of these people working at play, doctor, police, ambulance, friends. Now the friends, yes, that's a big, massive conspiracy. And it would take a even more mastermind to execute it. So this theory doesn't work. Think of Occam's razor, right? It's the simplest thing that's usually the truth. So don't get too far out of the scope of it, because that's not true. Just like when people say the federal government has aliens under the White House. It would take everyone in the White House to play crazy for that to be true. It's always the simplest response. Don't go past the scope of what you know. The reason why you shouldn't go past, and this is just a life lesson to you, Eris Crew. When you go past the scope of what you know, it can lead you down wild tailspins, which is really detrimental to your mental health, right? Thinking all these kinds of crazy things that stir in your brain. Don't think like that. Go with what you know. What do you know? What do you know? Don't go with what you think. Don't go with what other crazy, bloggers have said. Go with what you know. What do you know? I only know this, right? That's all you know. And go with it. Don't go down tailspins like that, because that leads nowhere. The reason why it leads nowhere is because what if your theory is true, but the cops don't believe this theory is true, right? The state government, and they don't prosecute those people. Are you going to feel like she didn't get justice? Like, don't think like that. Don't think like that. Because what you're doing is you're expanding the scope of suspects. And every day that the case gets closer and closer to conclusion, when people get arrested and go to jail, you're going to be like, well, there's 28,000 other suspects and they are not going to jail. No justice. Don't do that to yourself. Go with what you know. That's it. So the further you expand it out to these wild harebrained conspiracy theories, all you're doing is removing your ability and the family's ability to receive justice, because you're thinking, well, she didn't get arrested and the phlebotomist didn't. And what about the maid and the concierge? He knew something. You don't know that. So go with what you know. Okay. That's my advice to you. Just go with what you know. I'll be trying to just listen. The phrase ignorance is bliss. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why that theory, that saying makes sense, because being ignorant to some things is blissful. It's good to the mind, right? Because you know what you know, and what you don't know won't hurt you. What you don't know is not going to hurt you, right? What numbers? And thank you. This is from, very unique, beautiful name. Is it Omo Yemoja? I hope I said that right. How do you know Daejhane is the one who with the warrant? Here we go. So, fantastic question. So when we pull up the official report from the Mexican State, from Daniel De La Rosa, prosecutor of the state of Baja California Sur, he said this. It says that this case is fully clarified. We have a court order. There is an arrest warrant issued for the crime of femicide to the detriment of the victim and against the alleged perpetrator. A friend who is the direct, quoted here, direct aggressor. Direct. There's only evidence of one person who made direct physical contact with Shanquella, and it's Daejhane. Great question. I hope I said your name correctly. If not, tell me how to say it. This is from Laquana. Hello, Laquana. Says, does she turn herself in here or in Mexico? She didn't have to. There's a warrant issued. So because she has a warrant issued, these are the people that's going to pick her up. This is Interpol. So on an international stage, right? At an international stage, when crime occurs in between two different nations, the warrant serving nation serves the warrant, right? And they take that physical warrant and they give it to these guys, or over here, these guys over here. Okay. So they literally just hand it to them. These guys pretend that they are U.S. Marshals and they go and pick you up. Okay. So they're like the liaison between nations. So if it were Ireland or Germany and something happened in Germany and they need to go issue a warrant in Ireland, Germany would give the warrant to these guys, and these guys will go and serve it like U.S. Marshals. That is what their role is to do. It is Interpol's role. They are international headhunters, if you will. This is from Taisha, says they're going to get her too. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you very much. This from Ashley says, went from 200 to 500 viewers on YouTube. Oh, spicy. I can't really see that. I can't unless I click over to YouTube. But thank you. This is from Cancer Baby. Says, so that means there is no other video of the other female body slam, at least not now. From what I know, I haven't seen any. I can't say it doesn't exist, but I definitely can. I can't say it does not exist. Only thing I can say is I've never seen it. So I don't think about stuff I don't know, right? Because I only can go with what I know. So if someone says there's a video for body slam, it's possible. It could be the case, right? Could that be the case? Yeah. Everyone had their phones out, presumably. There could be a video. Is that the case? No, because it hasn't surfaced. So that's my best answer to you. This from Cece says, I think the friends stalled time while they tried to think of the most believable way they could be found. Panic synced in and desperation. Cece, yes, and yes, some more. Absolutely correct. All correct. Wow, this is a Thanksgiving miracle. Literally, it is. It's a Thanksgiving miracle. I know the family's going to be able to have a really nice Thanksgiving. This is from my. Is it Maiko? Maiko? Whew, come through with the names today, y'all. Maiko says, so her friend jumped on her for not fronting their trip home, who goes on a trip and don't bring any money, and just in case something happens, that was depending on her to pay for everything. This is theory, right? So that is I don't know where that theory front the trip. I don't know whose theory that is, but that's theory. So I want to just make that abundantly clear. So you're saying, I believe allegedly that they jumped her. So what you're saying is not true. It's simply probably your hypothesis. But my hypothesis here is that I think the fight ensued because Alyssa's sister was tragically killed the day before. I think Alyssa found out the day of the tussle fight video, told the house, and they all wanted to go home, except they couldn't afford to transfer their tickets. Now, somebody in the comments stated that they believe that they gave Shanquilla the money up front to the villa because they think Shanquilla paid for the full villa, and then they just were required to give her the money up front when they got there. And I think that one of them came up to her, like, hey, we need that money to transfer our tickets because we should go home because Alyssa's sister was murdered. I think Shanquilla said no, and I think that's why the fight ensued. That's my personal theory, and a little bit of twist, whoever offered that other theory up, because I like it. And that's my theory. Okay, does that make sense? Um, how do you pronounce your name? So many theories and preconceived notions. Gotta have theory, but what you really need is a working hypothesis. Omo Yamoja. Oma Yamoja. I hope I say your name right. This from Shay says, so when were they at Shanquilla's mom's house? I guess. Oh, here's the timeline. Let's pull the timeline up again. Timeline says here. It says group returns to Charlotte, meets with family. According to the Charlotte Observer, they said this was November 1st. It says the rest of the group returned to Charlotte and visited with the Robinson family, telling the family her death was a result of alcohol poisoning. The family has said in interviews with multiple media outlets, they quickly began to question the validity of the story because they noticed inconsistencies in the story different members of the group told. And that's around November 1st. The mother did state that for 4 straight days from November 1st to November 5th. November 5th, Khalil will come to the house every single day. Watch this my mouse jump back and forth until that death certificate came out, and then she had never seen him again. That is according to the mother. Hope that makes sense. This is from Miracle says, have you seen Winter's lives? I don't know if that's her, so I'm gonna say no. And I can't prove the validity of them. So also no, I'm sorry, no. This from Queening says, I think your theory is closest to being right. Simple and plain as money is root of evil. Dang. This from Toilet Tish says, Shanquilla could have brought up money they owed her the night before, and Daejhane got embarrassed for whatever reason. Possibly. That's possible. That's quite possible. Yes. This from Mrs. Yellowhawk says they mentioned something about 17,000. Who is they? Please be specific about being stolen from her bag of the initial Mexican report. Like what? Who is they? And where is that said in the report? I read that report. I didn't read anything about 17K being missing unless I overlooked it. But if you have it, send it to us. Send it to us on Instagram. Send it to us on Facebook. Highlight it. Send us the link to it. Show us where to find it. If you can't do that, then we cannot believe the validity of the statement. I apologize. This is from Mrs. Munchie says, I think once they picked her up, trust me, she's telling everyone because she's not serving all that time by herself. Let's just watch all them go. Ooh, now my question is, why did Baja California make the statement? Why the prosecutor there? Is that where Daejhane lives in California? She lived in Charlotte. Did she go to California? Interesting. Interesting indeed. Could be. It's the state. It's the state. I mean, I know it's Baja. It's Baja, California, sir. I know that. I live right there. I'm not gonna tell you where I live, but I live nearby. Okay, I know where it's at, but I wonder why they made the state. Why their prosecutor made the statement. Oh, There's a Baja California, sir. Wow, ignorance, and it's showing. I'm like, I know where Baja California, sir is because it's in my head. I'm thinking of Big Sur. I'm like, that's just like a couple hours north. I'm thinking of Big Sur. Do you know what Big Sur is? That's what I'm thinking. Child. So I be needing y'all help. I was thinking, if you don't know what Big Sur is, let me pull it up for you because this is what I was thinking. I was thinking of this. Like, why? I'm like, why is this is what I was thinking of. Literally this. Literally, hold on, let me pull it up. Hold on. Why is it not pulling up? Okay, here it is. That's what I was thinking of. This is what I was thinking. I was like, why is Big? That's what I was thinking of in my head. Like, why is Big Sur? Why is the prosecutor in that California region? Why are they talking about this? Who is JG? Who is that? Who's that? Happy holidays, Vapey. Child. You said I live close to the border. Big Sur is up North California. That's what I'm saying. It's like north. So in my head, I'm thinking of Big Sur. But this says here, let me share the screen. This literally says here, I'm so ignorant. The state of Baja California, sir. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, they mean this. This is not what they meant. Not what they meant at all. Gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. It's late and I'm hungry. It's late and I'm hungry. So my brain is my oh, he blocked us. So, and even if he was live, I could care less. You guys are more than welcome to go over there and watch him. Me and him already tussled. I'm not interested in talking to him. He's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. And I'm saying that here on my page. He's a weird Looney Tune. So I don't want anything to do with him. But he did block me. So thank God, because I would never want to hear anything that comes out of his mouth. Messy Boots, Gerald Jackson. Another blogger who called everybody in the house the M words, including Nasir, who wasn't there. Made all these kind of wild accusations with no allegedly or no, this is not my hypothesis, this is my theory. I don't know if it's true. Just throwing stuff where it didn't stick. Just being messy. Just being messy. This from Alice says, I don't think on now they looked ready to leave. No one seems pressed to leave. Who's they? Who's pressed to leave? This from Lakita says it may be one person with an arrest warrant, but they're all guilty of something except Nazir. He's the only one I believe is the most innocent because everything that's come forward has really exonerated him. Almost nearly everything. YMV says, when Keep It Up with Rio goes wrong, the film posted a humiliation video of Shanquella prematurely, not knowing it would be her demise. If that video didn't exist, not everything, listen, y'all, not everything needs to be recorded. If that video did not exist and get widely circulated, I want to know who released it. Because when it was initially released, it did not have the North Carolina Beach watermark on it. So we don't know who released it. Everything he released, he put his watermark on. That's why you can't find anything without his stupid watermark on it. That's why I don't have watermarks on my stuff because we don't care. And we don't gatekeep. I don't gatekeep nothing like that. I could literally care less. Okay. I could literally care less. But whoever released that tussle video did not have a watermark on it. So I wonder who released it. Because I want to know too. Me too. I'm just nosy that way, y'all. I mean, my Like, come on, I'm nosy bystanders. I want to know. This is from La Jewel. Said the mom stated that the Cabo Six told her the hospital needed $5,000 to admit her. The dad said the funeral told him he needed $5,000 to ship her back to Charlotte. So the family said in total they gave up $11,000, because I never seen those two numbers come together. I don't know. I got to hear the full story. Whoever's interviewing these people are not interviewing them properly. I'm just going to keep it a stack with you guys. That's from Double D Mother. She always says, I'm keeping it a stack. I don't think whoever interviewed these people ever interviewed them correctly. I would want to interview them if I were, which I never do. I've already said that a numerous amount of times. I would never want to interview them. But whoever's interviewing these people are doing a disservice to being nosy. Okay. The first thing I would have asked them is, who asked you for the money initially? Okay. It was Winter, let's say. How did she get it? Was it Cash App, Venmo, Western Union? Okay. She didn't get it. Who got it? Did the hospital get it? Or did the funeral home get it for shipping? And what did they call either of you respectively? They called me at 6 p.m. They called me at 3 p.m. Okay. Did you come together and send her a total of $11,000? Or is it because she couldn't get one of you on the phone, so she asked each of you for money? Did you both send her money? And do you have receipts of that? It's that simple. I'm like, y'all don't know how to ask these people questions? Everyone's so tussled about this money, which I don't even care about, because the money doesn't have anything to do with the story. Nothing. We know the money has nothing to do with the story because Shanquella was buried in Charlotte. It's not a grift or a scam if you got your daughter. I just want to make that clear, right? That's just like, everyone is so obsessed with this money and where's this money? If they had the money, y'all, they wouldn't be sitting at their houses waiting for Interpol to come pick them up. I promise you. If they had the money, they would have fled to Canada, China, Russia. They would have fled. They would have stayed on the plane and kept going. They would have went home. So there is no money. So that whole narrative that there's 17,000, 11,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, get the money out of your head. It doesn't mean nothing. If the family sent money for the transport of Shanquella and they got Shanquella, it's not a scam. I'm so tired of hearing about it. It's not a scam. Get the money out of your head. It was an even exchange. They got what they wanted. Here's money. Here's Shanquella. Switch. They got it. It's there. She's buried. So stop talking about money. If they took money from them, those kids would not be sitting at home waiting for warrants. They would have fled. They would have fled the country. So get that out of your head. The money means nothing. There is no money. There is no money. There is no money. There's no money. The parents weren't scammed. If they got their daughter, they're not scammed. You got her. There's no scam. It's only a scam if you didn't get her. You got her. So get that out of your head. Stop coming here talking about $17,000, $5,000, $3,000. I don't care about the money. The parents were not scammed if they got their daughter. Okay? We're done with the money. Don't come back here talking about money. I don't care. I want to know how the fight started. And I want to know who played a role in it. I don't care about money. So please stop asking me about it. Okay? Thank you. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, y'all keep going over here with this money thing. It's like, oh, it's a scam. How was it a scam if they got Shanquella? Tell me. Help me understand it. How was it a scam if they got their daughter? How was it a scam? How was it a scam? You got your daughter, right? The money was to transport your daughter. Did you not get her? Is the casket empty? I just want to hear someone say, yes, Stephanie, the casket, they buried an empty casket. Somebody tell me that right now. Stephanie, they buried an empty casket. Tell me. And we could talk about the money for the next 10 minutes. Tell me, Steph, they buried an empty casket. Just say it. Just say it and we'll talk about it. for the remainder of these 10 minutes before I got to go and take a shower. Tell me, say, Stephanie, they buried an empty casket. Did they? I'm waiting. Just say it so we can talk about it. I'm reading the comments. Hello? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Did y'all hear me? Okay. So they didn't bury an empty casket. We're done with the money. Yes, a warrant was issued. Okay. I don't know. Maybe people have never seen $10,000. So it's like a mystery to them. Like, ooh, money. I don't know. I don't know what everyone's fixation on this money is, but it's just that simple. It's that simple, you guys. You have to stop with the money. Just go with what you know. If you don't know, don't go. Stop saying, I heard. They said there's no heard or they or any of that over here. I might have to just get incredibly strict with who I let leave comments because I'm like, at this point, my head's hurting. Stop hanging out in the comment sections and just look it up yourself. If you cannot find anything about that money, it doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. This from Lala says, I live near San Diego, Baja California, and Baja California is a Mexican state. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I learned that tonight. I'm all new. I want to watch the Roku version. This is from Omo. Omo says, yeah, that's not a scam because the father said after he sent the money, he got the paperwork to identify it was Shanquella's body and sent over identification over, and then the body arrived that week. Thank you. I'm going to leave this up for people who keep talking about this money. This is from Uno. Uno says somebody debunked that the hospital staff said they don't charge $5,000 for no emergency. Thank you. Tony Obsession says, I doubt that friend stayed after long enough to discuss getting Shanquella home. I don't think they cared about how or if they got back to the United States. I want to know how the Charlotte Observer got this date here. I'm really curious about this date. Like, how did they get that? Did they see itinerary or something? Y'all not all the way on my nerves, but just like, come on, man. Don't come on. I'll just be saying, just think, just use your brain. I can't use your brain for you. I can't. I can do my best to surmise what I think you're thinking, and I'm going to do my best to help. But that's why I have such a disdain for North Carolina Beats, because he has infiltrated a big chunk of your minds, and he got y'all running around here with these wild stories that he can't even prove himself. And the sheer fact that most people are coming over to everybody else's platforms like, oh, and talk about what Gerald said, and he hasn't produced anything. And he's got y'all running around here talking about $17,000. Where did that come from? And then people wonder why I get frustrated. I get frustrated because I have to combat his nonsense. That's the part that hurts me as somebody who is engaged in research and analytics. I got to sit here and do his work. He gets to just open his mouth and say something, no recourse. And then I got to take the spillage from the people coming over here with those wild accusations. And then people wonder why I'm upset. I'm upset because he is making sharing information difficult. He is spreading misinformation like wildfire that I can't put it out fast enough. I'm frustrated because I want to teach you guys about analytics and teach you how to analyze information and only focus on what you can prove. And he's got people out here saying all kinds of wild, hog wild stuff. and hasn't been right yet. Sowing seeds of doubt and making most of you in here doubt yourselves, which you shouldn't do. He's gaslighting everyone into oblivion. And then when you come to pages like mine, you're like, well, why are you saying all these wild things? Because they're not real. And I'm trying to be nice, like, come on, you guys, let's get to reality. And it's like, I got to keep pulling everyone back down. But it's like, I shouldn't have to keep doing his dirty work. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to the people who've been watching my channel from the beginning. And it's not fair to the new people who want to engage in what we do over here. That's not fair to us. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not fair that I got to do his dirty work. That's not fair to me. It's not. It's literally not fair to me. It's not fair to any other blogger who puts a lot of work in trying to get people to understand these timelines. So now people are looking at the timeline from the Charlotte Observer and they're like, but you're missing the $17,000. It's not, because it's not real. That's like trying to include a Hamburglar on their timeline. Like, when did the hamburger fly in? He never did. He doesn't exist. He's a figment of Gerald's imagination. Okay? Just stop. I mean, I really, really would really hate to have to implement moderators anywhere on my pages, because y'all know how I feel. I would just very against moderators, but I'd really hate to have to implement moderators to be like, block anyone who starts talking these wild conspiracy theories over here. I would hate to do that. That would be a disservice to you and you learning about analytics, and it would make you feel slighted. But if I got to do what I got to do to protect people who want to understand the story and get rid of the wild yahoos who make their way over here, that's the part that I think about on a daily basis. Like, do I have to have moderators in here? And the moderators aren't even in here to combat the insults. I could care less if people insult me about my hair or my looks. But I do have to start deleting comments where people are going on these wild, fantastical voyages. Like, be for real. Do you think an entire city of Cabo, Mexico, is implemented on a scheme to lure Shanquilla, a regular black girl from Charlotte, North Carolina, to a multi-million-dollar villa to take her life? Or is that what Gerald told you? Because that sounds crazy. Stop and ask yourself, does that even sound realistic? Or is Gerald playing out some weird, sick movie in his head because he has a vendetta about not being the shining star of being a blogger? Most of the bloggers out here know that he's a joke and he's an embarrassment. And the fact that he calls himself a journalist and people are eating it up is even more sick and twisted. Just get a grip, everybody. Do not put anything in the comments that has no basis for reality. If you can't, and the crazy part about it, and the reason why I'm even more impassioned is because most of the people who I ask, hey, okay, send it to me. I will check my emails after these live streams, 0 in my inbox. I'll check my DMs, double zeros. Oh, I heard that there was a conspiracy to send her down there to go beat her up. Double zeros when I ask people, send that link to me, wherever you heard that. Send it to me. Nothing. Dry as a bone, which means they heard that nonsense from somewhere else and they have no proof of it. Stop coming over to the nosy bystanders talking crazy. If you want to learn, let's learn together. If you want to have a basis for understanding analytics, if you want to analyze data that you do have, tangible, right? Tangible means things that you can touch and feel. If you want to analyze tangible data, I can work with that. But if you want to come over here with the, I heard they said, no idea what a they is. I heard she said, no idea who she is. She could be a little spaghetti monster for all we know. If you're going to come over here with that type of language, take it somewhere else. If you're going to say, I heard Sheila tell Melissa on a Facebook post that I've screenshotted that she was going to take her life in the morning, that is something I can work with. I cannot work with they, them, and spaghetti monsters. Okay? If you don't know where that information came from, it does not exist. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist in this universe. It doesn't even exist in your own mind. You have to only go with what you know. And don't let people like Gerald gaslighting you into believing his own fantastical voyages. If he can't prove it to you, it doesn't exist. If I can't prove it to you, it does not exist. If that other blogger from over the hill can't prove it to you, it doesn't exist. It's not real. Just come back down to reality. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching Nosy Bystanders Live. I'm your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. We'll be back tomorrow, Thanksgiving, and we're going to talk more about this warrant. It might be a pre-recorded video, but we'll be back, okay? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.